Hello,
today
Ben.
with
Down
sunny
Sarah's house
Thank you for having me.
with AJ Strait.
One in 10 Australian women have experienced birthing trauma.
Women have experienced birthing trauma.
1 in 10 Australian women.
Hi, I'm Paul Rushworth-Brown, and welcome to Down Under Interviews. I'm here with the wonderful Tamara Chavalle, who's written a very interesting novel called But Baby, You're Worth It. Welcome to the show, Tamara.
Thank you, Paul.
Now, I've done quite a lot of research for this interview, both about you and about obviously the topic that you're writing about. And to be honest with you, I was quite disturbed about some of the things that I read about birth, injury, mother, trauma, violence. I mean, those words they don't seem to fit into. They shouldn't fit into the same paragraph. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the book that you've written?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's it's based on my own experience of events after I gave birth to my second child, and very much, I guess I was going through these horrific injuries and this terrible trauma that I was living with for months on end that required operations and all sorts of things, and I felt really alone. I didn't understand that this was something that so many Australian women and women around the world go through. So I guess, when I started to talk about, I put a post on Facebook to start with and sort of said, look, I want to talk about this terrible thing that I've been living with for the last sort of 7 or 8 months at the time. I was just overwhelmed by the number of women that reached out to me with their own stories, and was quite shocked and horrified, and I suppose in a way vindicated, because I realized it wasn't just me, and I realized it was so much bigger. I realized that writing about it was something that I needed to do personally to start healing from my own experience.
For you, I mean, I read the article about the report and the investigation that's been done, and I knew nothing about that, right? And I think it's some of the things that, and some of the testimony, I suppose, that came from other women, shocked me, absolutely shocked me. What are other people that have been through, or other women or families, I suppose, couples? What are they going to get from reading your book?
I really want us to get to a point where women feel comfortable talking about how they feel and the injuries that they've sustained, and to be able to go and actually get help like they would if they'd broken their ankle, or, just an everyday sort of injury. I guess that's what drove me to write the book, as well as my own healing.
Yeah, I mean, powerful messages. Now, looking at your social media and that, you're obviously a bubbly type of person, like to get out, all that type of thing. What was a challenge for you in writing such a, I suppose, I mean, to be honest with you, I felt like an investigative reporter when I was like researching this, and What was the challenge for you in writing such a disturbing novel, especially from your own experiences?
I think for me, finding my amazing editor, Alex, she really helped me to understand that, you know, what you went through is actually horrific, and it's okay to, you know, I sort of created Tabitha as this strong, amazing, you know, I sort of feel like she's she's who I aspire to be almost. But I actually needed help with delving right down into the trauma and actually talking about it.
Yeah, I remember reading something that your editor wrote to you about, you know, this is fantastic. You're actually starting to be you and Tabitha, basically. In other words, those sort of like heartfelt feelings that you had that you may have had difficulty writing about at another time, they started to come out. And I suppose, you know, as you see, that's all part of your sort of like healing process. So, you know, congratulations on that. I mean, it must have been a very, very difficult time for you writing some parts in that novel.
Absolutely. And look, to be honest, I still can't read it without getting teary. You know, and I guess that's why it's one of the reasons why I didn't want to write it as a nonfiction book. I didn't want to write it from my perspective. I wanted to create this character, I guess, almost to put one step of separation between myself and the story. But ultimately, it's still my story. So yeah, I still read it, and I'm so proud of it, and I love it. But it also makes me cry.
Tell me about. Obviously, there's a lot of you and her, but tell me how you develop the character.
Yeah, look, I mean, I guess from a physical standpoint, I tried to incorporate all the fun things about me. The fact that, you know, I love having a chat, you know, everywhere I go. My daughter's just at the age now where apparently it embarrasses her that I stop and have conversations with everyone I meet. I guess because I just wanted her to be just a normal, average, you know, working mum who loves her kids, and something really crappy happened and she's got to learn how to live with it and overcome that, and you know, all of the challenges that are there. So just, I really tried to keep that in mind when I was creating her.
Now, I noticed that one of your social media profile pictures is sort of like a little cartoon picture of you. All right. Look, it seems like it's almost like a paradox. You know, you've got this novel that talks about, you know, birth and trauma and that type of thing, and then on the other side, you've got you know, obviously this sort of like bubbly personality, and you know, you've made a almost like a cartoon character of yourself and all that type of thing. It's almost like two different sort of like personalities looking at me.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I sort of intended. So that's good that it's coming across that way.
Okay, so your novel, who do you want it to affect? What direction are you going to take it? Who are you going to speak to? Tell me what your future holds.
I want women who are, you know, I don't want to scare women that are planning their births. I want them to understand that they need to go and empower themselves. They need to research. They need to understand what their options are. because it's too late when you're in the delivery room and there's some sort of emergency, like there was in my situation, and the control is taken out of your hands. So I want women to, who are planning to have children, educate yourself, read my story, understand that it doesn't happen with every woman. But then women that have been through some sort of trauma, they've been through this birth trauma, they've ended up sustaining some sort of injuries that can be life-changing. Mine certainly were. To just understand that you're not alone. For a good 6 months, I had my mum. I don't know what I would do without her doing. She was basically doing everything for me and looking after the baby.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to sort of talk about just how unwell I was physically and mentally. And even I kept going back to doctors and saying, I don't feel like there's something not right. And they just kept blowing me off. So it's also a message to say, as a woman, your body, what's normal and what's not.
Yeah. I mean, that healing process afterwards, it takes a long time, doesn't it?
Often people don't understand that the emotional side can be very serious. I was really lucky. It was actually the Child and Family Health Centre near where I live, where the nurse said, "You're not okay."
Now that you've finished that book and it's in print, how has your life changed, both professionally and personally, without getting into too much nitty-gritty?
With my fantastic editor Alex, I realized that I found a new passion, and I realized that I strongly believe that everything happens for a reason, and I feel like maybe this happened because this is a new direction that I can take my life in. So I really am. I'm working hard. I've actually, my third book is actually with Alex at the moment. My second, which is the sequel to this story, is just about to go to my publishers. So it's had a massive, profound effect on my life. Yet to see exactly where it's going to take me. But
it's sort of like
sky's the limit, as they say.
Once you write that first book,
I love it. I've discovered a passion that I didn't know existed, and it's fantastic.
Okay, so obviously you've got a career outside writing, right? And you write.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got children. Where do you find? How do you find the time?
I haven't been sleeping all that much the last few months. I think that the writing, I've enjoyed it so much that it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And it's been fantastic because I'm probably working 8 hours a day around my children's schedules, which has been fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Tamara, look, it's been absolutely wonderful meeting you and speaking to you. And
Thank you too.
Good luck with the novel. When I first started reading about it, I mean, as I said at the beginning, I mean, I was absolutely shocked. When people read your book, I think they're going to be more enlightened and have more knowledge about the reality of giving birth, and obviously if that birthing process has some sort of trauma connected to it. So I want to thank you very much for coming on the show.
And thanks for having me.
And good luck.
Thank you.